Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Yep. It's good stuff. Date went really well. The restaurant that we went to was an entirely different story. Here's the thing. Whenever I go to an Italian restaurant, and I'm not sure how their food is going to be, I always have one go-to meal. And that's spaghetti. Because I feel like you can't get that wrong. Guess what happened? They got it wrong. So, that sucked. Company was amazing. Food, on the other hand, well, that was an entirely different subject. Very cute thing that happened was that they gave me a card to fill out. About service and food and, all that other stuff. Well, everything else went good. Pretty sure they're not going to exactly like the fact that I put poor as far as their food. But that's an entirely different story, and I cannot still believe that they messed up on the one. You know what? That's not important. Important part was I had a great time. So, with that being said, let's start off with Nina. Nina and Valentine, here's the thing. I don't understand what they see in Nina, either of them, either Jax or Valentine. But pretty much, pretty much Valentine, when he sees Nina, because Nina comes to the house looking for Michael to spend time with Wiley, they have a bit of a talk, and, Nina meets, Barely. I was going to sit there and say Valentine's daughter, but you all know that's not true. So they have a little bit of a conversation about that. And at one point, Valentine's like, wish we would have had one or whatever, like a daughter or something. And then, Valentine's, hey, listen, I'm sorry. And when Michael gets back, when Nina's leaving, Nina's like, set up a good time so I can sit there and see Charlotte. And, this is before Valentine's like, I'm not going to be able to see you. Because, Nina talks about Nixon Falls and meeting someone and yada, yada, yada. And Valentine's like, am I going to be able to see you before you go? And Nina's like, yeah, find a time where I can sit there and visit Charlotte. She walks off, and at that point, I'm just like, Valentine, Okay, so part of it is the fact that I don't understand what they see in Nina, okay? Listen, I'm not sitting there saying that Nina is, like, completely unattractive. I'm just sitting there saying that, well, she's not my type. Let's just put it that way. But I do understand, because at first I was like, bro, like, why don't you just let that go? Like, it's over, it's done, it's been done for a while. But, he's been in love with her for so long. And, I don't know, I guess speaking from experience, I understand what it's like, being still in love with someone at one point, and knowing that this person doesn't feel the same way for you, and in your head you're just like, yeah, I should just probably just turn off those feelings and just not do that, but heart and logic and everything like that. So the look in his face, the fact that he looked like he was about to start tearing up, I completely understood where he was coming from. You know, when people sit there and talk about being in love and stuff like that, and you don't, like, when you're in love, you know exactly what I'm saying. And once you've had that feeling, especially for the first time, it is damn near impossible to want to let that go. So, as much as I do not like Nina, and we all know how much I don't like Nina, I understand where Valentine's coming from. But, you know, he looks at his daughter, and, he looks at Bailey, and, you know, he starts talking about how he's a better man because of the children in his life. And, you know, Brooklyn, you know, Valentine have a nice little moment, you know, when Valentine's is, you know, with Bailey looking at the stars and stuff like that, and Brooklyn's there smiling and stuff. And I'm just like, you know, this is all very cute and well, and I understand, you know, like, the moment, the This Is Us moment, I guess. But, you do realize that at some point, Maxie's gonna want back her child. And this little cute moment that you're looking at and you're all, like, smiling and stuff, well, what do you think it's gonna feel like when, he has to give her up? When he realizes that that's not his daughter? You know? So, that moment right there, I'm just like, oh, that's cute. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is gonna end badly. Why are you smiling like that for? And I couldn't understand why, but okay, alright, so yeah, Nina. So when Michael gets back, Michael's like, listen, before you walk in this room, we gotta make sure we get some stuff straight out. Like, we gotta make sure we get our ground rules, a story straight, whatever you want to call it, you need to get your ish together. So, with that being said, Nina's like, yeah, fine, you know, I understand, I won't do it again. She goes to see her grandson. She's smiling, she's happy, she's having a good time, and Michael's like, listen, I'm just gonna go step out, and, you know, y'all two have a good time. Watching her say the things that she said, that feeling for me just brought me right back to the first video that I did of GH. And granted, this video, I would sit there and recommend people to watch it, but just keep in mind that, well, I use a lot of swearing. I don't even remember half of the episode because I didn't take any notes. This was literally my first rough draft. And, I mean, I just went off on her. And watching this scene, it's like, yeah, I remember that feeling now. I mean, she tells Wiley, oh, just to let you know, I seen your grandpa, and I'm just like, so, you're holding him, and you talk about you seeing his grandfather. Like, there's just no remorse. I just don't understand how you're holding this child, knowing that his grandfather would be missing him right now. Okay? Knowing when he grows up, the fact that she kept him away from his grandfather, none of that just sinks in. None of it. Okay. She's like, oh, you know, at some point she's like, oh, you know, and he's free. He's so free. I was like, sweetheart, listen. You know, the more you try to convince yourself that you're doing a good thing for Sonny, the more of a POS that you look like, you know, trying to ease your conscience. And then she's like, oh, well, I was going to sit there and I was going to tell your grandmother, but she sold me. I was like, wow, you're sounding just exactly like now. You know, the woman that you practically, turned on when the custody case came out and you realized that she was a whack job. You sound just like her. You, wow. And, you know, towards the end, you know, after she's like, you know, you think I should sit there and you think I should tell Carly about, you know, your grandpa? It's like saying, it's like telling a 3-year-old, do you think I should do the right thing? Do you think I should do the right thing? I don't understand how you can sit there and look at a child and not just lie, but lie to the point where it's like you're coming across as a really terrible person, but you're gonna look at that innocent child and just be a bad person knowing that you're doing something bad. And I don't really understand. I know it's a soap opera and I get it. It's just every time I watch Nina, it's just like you are just such a So, she's all like, oh, I'm gonna be spending more time with you, and Carly comes in. Carly's like, really? This is how, okay, alright. Now, Carly was sitting there practically interrogating Jax earlier, because she was like, yo, I can't figure out why why Michael would suddenly just change his mind. What did you do? Did you twist his arm? Did you, what did you do? You manipulated him? She starts throwing all these guesses out. And Jax just deflects, doesn't really answer. Towards the end of it, she's like, listen, if I find out what you did and it was bad, it's not going to end well for you. I mean, she literally came in that house and was like, yo, listen, what did you do to my son, pretty much? Oh, man, I can't wait for her to find out. I'm not going to lie, I'm just kind of wondering what was the point of Anna being on this episode today. I really want to know what was the point of Anna actually being on this episode, because I felt like she didn't really do much of anything. I mean, she talked to Finn, and Finn was like, listen, the cure is not working. I don't know what we're going to sit there and do. Now, Liz, this was something that was kind of confusing. Liz was, when Anna walked into the chapel, talking to Liz, and, she found out what was going on about Finn chasing his condition. And, Anna was like, listen, we still have Peter, we still have the cure. And Liz just didn't say anything. So I was like, okay, so Liz, let me get this straight. You're just going to just watch this woman just run around town trying to find Peter, even though he's dead. And I'm convinced at this point that they hit the body. Okay, I'm fully convinced that at this point they hit the body. So you're just going to have her just run around like an idiot trying to look for Peter and the cure that's not there. Maybe if you actually told her, then she could probably narrow down her search. And she might actually have a better chance as far as finding Peter's cure. Because only 2 people know about it. And one is the nurse, and I'm pretty sure she's dead. And Peter, which I'm pretty sure he's dead also. She didn't say anything. And so Anna just runs off, and she finds Valentine. They have this talk that, I'm not going to lie, meant absolutely nothing, didn't go anywhere, and then she said bye. And Brooklyn was like, oh, I guess y'all two are a thing or something. Oh, also Brooklyn found out about Chase's condition. Yeah. Not gonna lie, again, I was like, Anna, why did you even bother to show up to work today? Or Fiona, why did you even bother to show up to work today? Because you didn't contribute a damn thing to this episode. Yeah, I understand contracts and everything like that, but still, just... I felt like her being there was just a waste of oxygen in the room. Like, I don't know. Maxie and Spinelli. I feel like part of the story is just broken. And I don't know, was it one writer had one idea, another writer had another idea? It was just too late, so they just kind of just mushed it together and were just like, well, I guess this sort of makes sense. Because Maxie already told Britt half of the plan, She was already on half of the plan as far as she was going to be the person that was going to be delivering Maxie's baby. So what I don't understand, and didn't she, I could be wrong, didn't she know that, didn't Britt know that, Brooklyn Didn't she know that Brooklyn wasn't pregnant? So she was already halfway in it, and I could have swore, and I could be wrong, I could have swore that Britt knew that Maxie was going to be switching the giving the child to Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure of that. And if that's the case, then why does she lie? And so going into this episode, her talking to Spinelli was like, well, what was going to be the plan before everything just, went to hell? And I don't even remember if she even told him that, because all she did for this entire scene was lie to him. And I don't understand why. Like, what is the point of not telling Spinelli? This is so stupid. They blame each other. They go to the house. They talk to Georgie, which is, I guess she just like magically grew again. She told Georgie some BS story about how, and it was so hard for me to follow. And granted, this was like not a factor in just me not remembering. It just, she said something along the lines of, Louise is supposed to come home, but a friend really needed, this child because she was lonely and sad, and so, she can't come to the house or something, like some BS story that I was like, you know what, this story can only work if this child is like 7 or 6. And it did. And that was pretty much about it. And, yeah, I just, this story is broken. Somewhere along the lines, the story is broken. And by the way, what is going on with Chase in this condition? Because, by all accounts, this should have worked. But for some odd reason, Finn's plan didn't work, and he's practically sitting there telling Chase, well, I'm not giving up hope, I'm just, I'm like, so, okay, so we're just going to do this really slow, long burn of Chase dying? And here's my problem with Chase dying. If Chase dies, then Peter wins. But here's the thing. If Peter isn't alive, then Peter died and he took somebody with him. And for me, I feel like that's just not acceptable. Don't get me wrong. I love a bad guy that can get a couple of wins. Jerry Jacks and, Alcazar, both of them. But, I just like, what are we doing? I mean, Chase had been sick for a good while, and it's like, what are they doing? They're just like pulling our strings, our heartstrings or whatever, with this whole sad, dreary, like, it's at a point where after Michael and Willow spent there talking, because they didn't really talk about anything that was super important, it just kind of just brought people up to speed. Willow sits in with Chase, and this is after Chase had to sit there and watch Finn tell Gregory and Jackie that there's a good chance that his son, that your son isn't going to make it. And that was just a heartbreaking scene. I was just like, Jesus Christ. And again, this is just like prolonging this whole, like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Because there's a time span, it's like, oh, you give us hope and then you take it away, and it's like, what are we doing? So it's like, now there's no hope because now there's no Peter, so we're just going to sit there and slowly watch him die? It got to a point where Chase was sitting there talking to Willow, and Chase pretty much asked Willow to marry him. And Willow, she goes along with it because at this point, like, dude is dying. And again, I cannot, like, stress this enough that I really do not want Chase to die. I really don't. Because of what I said before. But also because he's a good actor. And, I know between the fact that he does have a newborn. And you know, the dude is actually doing pretty good as far as his new movie and stuff like that I didn't watch. I think it's on Netflix. If it is, I gotta find out what it is and maybe watch it. But I know he has other things going on. So the fact that he's still there is pretty great. But I understand from an actor's point of why he may decide he wants to check out. But I'm not gonna lie, if he does, that would just, like, ugh, I can't. Anyway, so Willow agrees. The parents come in, they are hugging, and Willow look like she's crying, and it's just this really sad scene, really. Don't know why, but I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I don't think I am, because usually at the 20-minute mark, I think I kind of said the majority of the stuff that happened in the episode. But I don't know. Somehow, I always feel like I missed something. But with that being said, I don't really think I did. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching today, or watching tomorrow. Really do appreciate it. I want to thank everyone for being so supportive, just in general, you know. Even on Mondays, you know, when my videos come out kind of late, and people still do watch and they comment and stuff like that. It's so amazing. I think that's the only word I can sit there and use for it. Because when I first started doing it, let me tell you something, and I've said this story a couple of times. When I first started doing like videos and stuff like that, my first GH video was because I think I was on Brock TV's channel, and I was so livid. This was when this was about Nina, obviously, but this was when Nina was being really nasty towards Willow. And I heard a rumor. This is when Michelle was on there. I heard a rumor that even Michelle didn't like that scene. She wrote about it on her Twitter page, and I think she deleted it or whatever. But I just remember being so angry that I wrote a comment on Brock TV's page, and I was like, I felt like that should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. And I was just like, you know what? I gotta talk about this. And I turned on one of my other phones with so not good quality, and I was livid. F-bombs was just going out. My point is, I didn't actually think that I was going to enjoy it. And, I didn't think that I was going to get people to watch my videos, and comment and support and stuff like that. And even now, not just about the videos, but, this new person I'm seeing, this new woman I'm seeing, and she is amazing. It's so unexpected, and I'm in awe of her. I feel very lucky to have found such a beautiful and kind woman. And I know this is, just the beginning and stuff like that, but I am appreciating every single day and every single moment that I get to spend with her. And I want to thank everyone for all the positive comments and, good lucks and just everything like that, just commenting about that, and, not even just about the soap, just in general. I really want to thank everyone for that. I didn't think I was actually going to have people sit there and comment on my videos, let alone be, extremely supportive. And I'm grateful every day, to talk about this stuff and to have people that want to, listen and, comment and stuff like that. And I'm not going to sit there and get all misty-eyed, because I'm not going to sit there and make this a This Is Us moment, which I'm still watching the last season. And if you haven't watched that show, please watch that show. But I just want to thank everyone for just everything in general, and I really do appreciate it. With that being said, I'm gonna go. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Definitely be safe, because like I said, it's been a Wild West lately, and I really do care about each and every single one of my subscribers and each and every single person that just watches my videos and in general, you know. And it's so weird saying that, because I know a lot of other YouTubers like, oh, I'm so thankful for all, and it just comes across as so fake. And I think this is starting to get to me now. But my point is, I'm really grateful for every person that watches and supports and comments and subscribes and stuff like that. And anyway, I said I was going to sit there and get all misty-eyed, so I just want to sit there and say thank you. And be safe, because like I said, it's the Wild West. Have a great weekend. See everyone on Monday.